You're listening to Clearview Today with Dr. Abadan Shah, the daily show that engages mind and heart for the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm Ryan Hill.
I'm John Galantis.
You can find us online at clearviewtodayshow.com, or if you have any questions for Dr. Shah or suggestions for new topics, send us a text to 252-582-5028, or you can email us at contact@clearviewtodayshow.com.
That's right, and you guys can help us keep the conversation moving forward by supporting the show. You can share it online with your friends and family. Leave us a good 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasting content from. We're going to leave a couple of links right there in the description, so you can do just that. We got a great show today, my friend. Great show. Phenomenal show.
Fantastic.
I promised y'all early in the week we were going to have a third grapevine. This is our first ever 3 grapevines in a week.
3 gripes deep.
You can tell what kind of week this has been. Welcome to the grapevine. Doink. So this is a light gripe. I'm going to give this one a light
diet gripe.
This is a diet gripe because this one was really born out of a place of my wife, and I think the women in my life trying to be good to me. So I don't want to gripe too hard.
Okay.
Because it's coming from a place of, it's either coming from a place of, hey, I want to help you, or shut up and stop complaining. It's coming from one of those two places.
And it could be both. It could be the center of that Venn diagram.
I get hangry. I certainly get hangry.
As many do.
Like when I get hungry, I start getting irritable. I start getting ill. Instead of answering questions directly, I start answering in like jabs. Like, so instead of it's like, hey, what are you doing? I'd be like, oh, I'm nothing. I'm just doing this. I'm like, bro, you can see what I'm doing. What does it look like I'm doing? I'm hungry. You know what I mean? So my wife knows that. So we were going to an appointment the other day, and she said, it was early in the morning. It was like we had to get up at 6 and go early, be there in Raleigh.
Already irritable.
Yeah, I'm already irritable because I'm up. But then when you get up early, you're kind of hungry.
Right.
And we didn't have time to stop. So I said, oh, man, I'm really, really hungry. I need like a big breakfast. And Ellie said something that I never realized I hated, but I have always sort of subconsciously known. She said, why don't you eat some crackers? And she reached in her purse and pulled out this little pack of 2 crackers that you get with salads.
Yeah.
Now, that should not have made me angry, because she was like, hey, I've got some crackers you can have because you're hungry. But for some reason, and it's not just her, Nicole has done it, Melissa has done it, my mom has done it, I think your wife has done it. Yeah. Everyone, when you tell them they're hungry and they give you like a little bite of cracker.
Anybody notice the common thread?
They're all
not.
They're all
moms.
women.
They're all moms.
Oh, they're all moms. Yeah, true.
They're all moms.
True. They just keep crackers. For some reason, when I'm really hungry and someone's like, just eat some crackers, it just infuriates me, because guess what? I'm 220 pounds.
I don't want crackers.
I don't,
Nancy.
Yeah.
I want a bacon cheeseburger.
What? Yeah, I want a bacon cheeseburger with some fries.
No offense to the Nancy's of the world. We love you, Nancy's.
I can't eat crackers. I've never been hungry, never, and eating 2 crackers and been like, thank goodness, that'll tide me over.
I think the heart, I mean, you said this, I think the heart behind it is like, hey, why don't you eat something to like take the edge off, and then you can really fill your stomach later.
But the edge isn't because I need to be chewing food.
I'm with you. Like if I eat that, I'm only going to be hungrier.
Right. And something about why, like I was like, no, I don't want any crackers. And then she started munching on crackers, and it just made me angry. Crackers are not satisfying. That's not an answer to when your man is hungry. I want to hear from other men, because I feel like there are men out there who know exactly what I'm talking about, but they've never verbalized it. I've never verbalized it. But it just annoys me. It annoys me. Just have some crackers. Here, I got crackers. They always have crackers.
It's because they're moms.
I don't get it,
They're used to kids melting down because they're hungry, so like, here, eat some crackers.
David, if you were hungry and someone was like, here, have a crack, and they pulled out one of the, and I'm not talking about like a sleeve of saltines, I'm talking about one of those packs with just 2 crackers in it. Would you be grateful, or would you be kind of annoyed?
I think I'd be kind of annoyed.
If it was a sleeve of just 2 crackers, I probably would be a little
Nicholas,
annoyed.
would you be grateful, or would you be annoyed? Annoyed?
No, he said grateful.
Oh, you grateful?
He said grateful.
Okay,
I'd be
cool.
grateful.
Maybe. I'd be very annoyed.
I think I'd be grateful if I was not very close to the woman in my life. But if
it's
I was
Elizabeth,
close to her, I'd be like, what am I going to do with this?
Like, I'm
what am I
a
gonna do with
big
this?
man. It's gonna take a lot to fill me up. When we left, I got a waffle, bacon, eggs, and a cup of coffee and grits. And I was like, what was those 2 little measly crackers going to do before the announcement? Before the appointment. Anyway, that was that.
I feel like there are 2 kinds of people out there, and I want you guys to write in and let us know which one you are. Are you one that can snack and stave off your hunger, or are you one like if you start to eat, you better fill your stomach because otherwise it's just going to be worse for everybody around you? I have
never once come in here and be like, dude, I was so hungry earlier before we recorded, but I ate 2 crackers, so I'm all good now.
See, I am the other way. Like if I'm starving hungry and I eat like a slice of cheese or like a banana, then I can push myself a little bit longer.
A banana I can see. A banana's actually surprisingly filling.
I can push myself a little bit longer. A couple crackers, I'll be okay.
Hey, listen, we got to go to the ad, but before we do, today's secret word, Ryan, attenuate. Attenuate.
Huh?
To attenuate something is to make it weaker or less in amount, effect, or force.
Attenuate.
So if it's real,
attenuate,
attenuate. So if it's like super loud in here, and I go shh, and everybody quiets down.
Everyone, attenuate.
Yeah, that attenuates the noise. It brings it down.
Okay.
It lessens it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Attenuate.
That's still going to be a rough one. I think he's going to get that one. We're trying to, if you've never listened to the show before, the secret word is something we're trying to sneak past Dr. Shaw in our conversation. Attenuate is the secret word for the day.
Attenuate. Attenuate is the secret word of the day.
We're going to bring Dr. Shaw back in. Yeah, and we're going to try to sneak it past him.
We'll see you guys after this.
Hey, what's going on, listeners? My name is John.
And I'm Ellie.
And we just want to take a second and let you know about Dr. Shah's new book on the market right now called Can We Recover the Original Text of the New Testament? Boy, that is a long title.
True, but it's a very simple message. The original text of the New Testament is not only attainable, but there are lots of different ways that scholars go about discovering it.
There's a lot of people out there saying that the original text is lost forever, or that it's hopeless to actually try to find it, or that there's many texts of the New Testament. But alongside Dr. David Allen Black, Dr. Shah has actually compiled papers from some of the world's leading experts in textual criticism, including one written by himself on various methodologies for extracting the original text. And listen, if you're interested in textual criticism, this book is a great introduction to the field.
You can pick up your copy on Amazon, or you can buy it from our church website. That's clearviewbc.org. We're going to leave a link in the description box so you can get your copy today.
Love that. Ellie, let's hop back in.
Let's do it.
Welcome back to Clearview Today with Dr. Abadan Shah, the daily show that engages mind and heart for the gospel of Jesus Christ. You can visit us online at clearviewtodayshow.com, or if you have any questions or suggestions for new topics, send us a text to 252-582-5028.
That's right, and we're here in the Clearview Today studio with Dr. Abadan Shah, who's a PhD in New Testament textual criticism, professor at Carolina University, author, full-time pastor, and the host of today's show. Dr. Shah, we had a gripe today about how when you're hungry, have you ever been hangry?
Hangry? Like angry?
That's when you're so hungry you start to get
anger born of hunger.
Yeah, you start to get a little bit a little irritable.
Yes.
Has anybody ever given you this this solution, which I think is not a solution, which is like just eat some crackers.
Yeah. Here, have a little bite to eat.
Have a little crumbly cracker, and that's gonna fill your stomach, or that's gonna hold you
temporarily satisfy you.
Do you think? Does it satisfy you?
Yeah, at times it does, but it's not like the main meal. I'm assuming like a bigger, fully cooked steak is coming.
Right. Like we were going out to breakfast, but we had an appointment, and Ellie was like, "Just eat some crackers," and I was like, "Oh, why didn't I think of that? Then I won't be hungry." I feel like if I eat the crackers, I'm going to be more hungry because now.
You think so?
Yes, because and this is not like a sleeve of like saltines. This is like when you get a salad, you get those little 2 crackers.
Yeah,
that's what
Captain's wafers.
That's what she carries in her purse. I actually, when that was happening, I texted Dr. Shaw and I said, "I'm talking about." He said, "I've had to do that many times."
Well, Ellie's like a Boy Scout.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. She
has everything
prepared.
Like at home, she has all these things laid out just in case there's a doomsday.
Doomsday. Yeah, you should see her parents' house.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if they want me talking about it on the show, but I'm going to. They have a secret wall. They have a wall of DVDs, and it's like a Scooby-Doo cartoon. If you pull on one of them, I can't remember which movie it is, but if you pull on one of it, the wall opens up and they have a horde.
For real?
For dead serious. I'll see if I can get some pictures of it. They have a straight up secret wall. So she was raised in that. I don't know if she's all that, but she is like, let's stock up. Let's have a bunch of shampoo. We have more shampoo, I think, than we can use in the next 10 years.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's maybe 5 years, but we got a lot of shit.
Good night.
But yeah, she always has got crackers.
Now, I always have, now, I don't know how we got on this conversation, but I always try to have an extra of everything that I have. So if I use shaving oil, I don't use shaving cream. I use shaving oil. I'll have an extra one. I'll tell Nicole to order. And she's like, why? I said, because I'm going to have one extra. But you still have like half of the bottle left. Like, I know, but it's going to go out. When it does go out, it may be a hurricane or it may be some crazy things happening in the world. I won't have it. Just wait for another month and you can ask me. I'm like, just go and get it. Let's get it.
What's the problem with having one extra?
Yeah. So,
like that.
remember when the toilet paper ran out?
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was a big thing.
Yeah.
In,
Everybody wanted extra then.
2020. Yeah,
That's right.
everybody was
Everybody wanted extra then.
Nobody was skimping on toilet paper back
That's
then.
right.
But praise God, hopefully we won't have to worry about that for a little bit.
I think you might be right.
Amen. The verse of the day today is coming to us from Proverbs chapter 11, verse 8. The righteous is delivered from trouble, and it comes to the wicked instead.
It's simple. I love the Proverbs. I love how simple they are and yet how deep and true they are. What does it say? The righteous?
The righteous is delivered from trouble, and it comes to the wicked instead.
You know, it's kind of funny because that usually doesn't happen immediately. And so it casts a lot of doubt. It casts a lot of fear. It casts a lot of like, what's going on in our nation? What's going on? But then the more you stay faithful and the more you continue to pray, you continue to live out God's will in your life. He always does bring it back to himself.
And Romans 8:28. For we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are the called according to his purpose.
That's right.
So when you live with that mindset, like this whole election season has been tough. We were praying. We're talking to people, we're explaining issues, we're standing on what we call biblical values.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it was like, God is in control. And whatever happens, we know that he allowed it.
Yeah.
We trust him. And what we found is God was answering our prayers. I think where we are today in America is because of lots and lots and lots of prayers.
Amen.
Very true.
Of course, people talked. President Trump did so many rallies. I mean, can you imagine over 900 rallies?
I think I saw in these.
That's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
In these the same day that I was complaining about this cracker thing, when we were at that appointment, he was in Raleigh that morning. He was 10 minutes away from the hospital we were at.
Yeah.
That afternoon, I think he went to, oh my goodness, South Carolina, and that evening he was in Pennsylvania.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
In a day.
That is
Yeah.
crazy.
3 states in one day.
Yeah.
Well, we saw him. We had the opportunity to see him in Nashville when we were at NRB, and he was at a rally in another state and landed on the plane.
I believe he was in Maryland.
His plane landed, and then he drove, landed, and went straight to another rally.
That's crazy.
It was insane.
So yes, all that is true. All that is true. He did a lot of hard work. A lot of people worked very hard, canvassing, talking to people, everything. But when all said and done, prayer.
Yeah.
Because we know it's God whose hand is behind the scenes, who is just as Scripture says, He's the one who raises kings and He's the one who brings them down. Right?
Great point.
I love that because it can be so easy to focus on the bad or attenuate circumstances.
Yes.
But when we direct our attention to what God is doing, it focuses us on hope for the future. It focuses us on being able to set our sights on brighter days.
Very, very good point. A lot of times first and foremost, let me go on ahead and give you that attenuate.
Thank you very much.
Attenuate.
Thank you very much.
What, I don't even think you
Attenuate.
used it right.
Attenuate, yeah, to lessen. Make
okay.
it weaker or lessen amount.
Good job, Ryan. Good job. I thought you would wait until later in the episode. I might need to start doing mine up top.
I try to vary it because you always do it in the same.
I was
place.
thinking it was going to come later, so if not, I would have hit the...
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Attenuate.
Attenuate. Good job. We've been talking a lot about the election, not only yesterday's episode, but we've been talking about a lot leading up to it. And Dr. Shah, I think you said something that really rings true that I hadn't quite thought about in this way. We didn't do all this talking just because if the more we talk about it, the more we'll probably get our way and the more we'll probably get the president we want.
No.
But it's to bring people's hearts and minds back to God.
Right.
If we bring people's hearts and minds back to Jesus Christ, then they'll start to see that a lot of this voter apathy that they may be having or even misguided political views really is a spiritual issue. Mm-hmm. It's really a misunderstanding of who God is.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Our goal was to provide and is to provide a clear view. Right? A clear view on our political issues.
Right.
a clear view on the elections,
Yeah.
a clear view on the candidates, and a clear view on biblical values. Who has it and who doesn't?
Right. That's
Who is
exactly
standing for it and is willing to stand for it, and who is actively bucking it. And that's what we're doing.
I
That's
think
it.
we've heard that from people writing in, like how much they appreciate your candor, and you're like, hey, this is what it is. This is what's going on, no matter what other people would have you believe, because people aren't having those conversations. Media outlets, news platforms, they're biased.
Yeah.
And so, we have our beliefs and we have our political values, but at the same time, this is what truth is.
Right.
And we're going to proclaim that unapologetically.
And I know there's other Christian shows out there that are kind of similar to our show, or maybe they're a little bit different, but they have a very different, they're like, listen, we shouldn't even be talking about this. Just focus on Jesus, man. Just focus on who Jesus is. And, at the end of the day, I don't think Jesus wants us to sit around and just have philosophical discussions. I think he wants us to be in this world making a difference.
We're called to be
go ahead. Say,
just saying-
because I was going to say exactly that.
we're
So
called to be the salt and light of the world.
That's
The salt
it.
doesn't do any good
That's
if it
it.
stays in the salt shaker.
that's right.
Oh, good. Very. I'm gonna give you some applause.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
And the light is sitting under a
a basket.
a
or a
basket,
bushel. You
yeah.
don't do that.
yeah.
That's a long applause, by the way. I need to get some shorter sound effects.
While we're on the third point, there's still the crowd is still going.
It's like one of those 17-minute standing O's.
Settle down, virtual crowd.
But I don't think there's a reason we and people have certainly seen we're talking about politics very much right now because this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And you can either be in that conversation or you'll be excluded.
Yeah.
It's not like people are going to be impressed because we don't talk about politics. We just talk about the character and nature
Right.
of Jesus.
Right. People are expecting that. Not just from a radio show. They're expecting the pastors. You don't have to endorse a candidate. And I know it almost sounds like we are endorsing a candidate in church, but we're not. We're endorsing issues. And the issues quickly highlight a candidate.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
So we let you make the final connection.
Yes. And you said that multiple times from the pulpit. Go vote biblical values. If you do that, you will default to a particular candidate.
That's
Exactly.
Right. And I think you've said this as well. Like it's not this is not hero worship. This is not putting all our chips in a person or a personality. Because if President Trump got up and said, "There is no Jesus Christ, I will not protect the church."
Sorry,
Yeah.
President Trump, I'm not backing you up.
Right.
Exactly.
See ya.
I can't vote for you at
I
that point.
appreciate everything, but not sure where you stand.
That's right. I cannot vote for you at that point. If
Cannot.
I'm going to vote biblical values, sorry, that's not you.
And
Exactly.
so a lot of our discussions are focused on bringing those biblical values to the forefront. Because
Right.
I think a lot of times, even in the church, they're being pushed to the back burner.
Right.
I don't know if it's more let's focus on the philosophical nature of Jesus, or if it's let's just not talk about this at all and do some safe sermons. I don't know what it is, but I don't know why Christians and pastors are so scared to use politics to further the gospel.
I think it's time to turn the page. Now that the election's over, now that we know who clearly has won, and won not only the presidency, the White House, but also the Senate.
Yeah.
And also maybe seemed like the House.
As of right now, it looks like it.
Looks like it.
Yeah. So now we have to turn the page as a church. What is our goal? Our goal is not a perpetual celebration of President Trump for the next 4 years.
Right.
No, I'm not interested in that. And frankly, having met him and talked to him very briefly, I don't think that's what he wants to do.
Right.
And if you heard his acceptance speech, he's like, I'm ready to go to work for you. I'm here to fight for you. That's what I want to do. I want to heal the nation, bring people together.
Yeah.
I'm for everybody. Okay. That's what he said the last time, and that's what he did. So more than likely, he'll do that again.
That's right.
So we as a church now have to turn the page and say, how will ministry be done over the next 4 years?
Yeah.
If the next 4 years are going to see a growth in the economy, because it is, by the way, don't believe all the junk you've heard about, it's going to take all the power, become a dictator. Some of the smart people who have said that lately, I'm so sorry. What is wrong? Why are you doing that? Who's paying you?
I'm so sorry for you.
What is wrong?
I'm sorry that you are so mistaken.
Unless somebody's like passing you money or under this table or something to say that, because it's not making you look good when you say those kind of things.
Yeah.
Welcome to dictatorship, Christians.
Yeah, because in
Like-
4 more years you'll be making a public apology for that, or you'll just be pretending you never said it.
Oh
No,
no,
you'll continue to be irrelevant.
Yeah, I've heard some people say that, and these are Christians.
Yeah.
Some of them, not all of them. Like, oh, you have no idea. Yep, brace yourself. It's about to get dictatorship.
Oh, I've heard tons of people say this was the last election we'll ever see. I was like,
Right.
what do you think is going to happen?
You've lost your.
Have you seen the people in the crowd? They're not the type to give up on their election rights. They're fighting for their rights to vote,
Yeah.
Right.
and have their. So no. So unless you're talking garbage like that, if you do that, then please just educate yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless you have an ulterior motive, educate yourself. But if you're truly honest and truly things are going to be different, which in the sense means the next 4 years will be years of lower taxes, more money in people's pockets, which means people will build businesses, means they will buy homes, means they will hire employees, means now we're going to see growth. We've seen that growth about 8 years ago. It was crazy growth. We will expect other nations to pay their fair share.
Right.
Yeah.
Why is America always attacked and gouged for in business deals, in international deals? Now, hopefully, people will step up and pay.
Right.
We're going to see what was almost looked upon like, hey, this is the inevitable. Get ready for your electric cars. Right?
Yeah.
Get ready to travel only an hour at a time. No, hopefully things will change there.
Yeah.
And we're going to have the freedom to travel, to use the natural resources God has placed there. And again, it's coming down to what are your fundamental values.
True. And maybe that's something to look at on an individual level, but then also collectively as a nation, what are our values? A lot of people they're trying so hard to take the Bible away from this nation, but I don't think it can ever really. You said something at lunch today that really inspired me. Is that the church is always going to survive? Even the mightiest powers in this nation cannot take the Bible away from our foundation.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, there can be persecution to such an extent that the church is wiped out. Go to the Middle East. You'll see that. Go to parts of China. You see that. India. You see that. But if the persecution just crosses that red line, yes, churches can be wiped out. The blood of the martyrs is not the seat of the church. Sorry. Who was it that? Tertullian? I forgot.
So I think.
Yeah.
Go to bed.
Yeah. It's not the seat of the church. So what is the point I'm making here? The point is this. The next 4 years will be years of prosperity. The next 4 years will be the years of growth, of a lot of fun. People will have. Look, Americans have lived under stress for the past, I would say, almost 6-7 years.
Yeah.
When President Trump came in the office, 2017 really, all of a sudden, I mean, there were people coming out of the woodworks attacking this and attacking that and constantly opposing him every step of the way.
Yeah.
Every week seeing one of his cabinet members, resign or fight or write a book or say, all that kind of stuff that went on. It made for a very stressful living for a lot of Americans. For 7-some years, we have been living with this stress.
True.
So now, in a sense, we're going to all of a sudden feel like somebody just lifted a heavy burden off our shoulders.
Yeah, I was going to say it's time to breathe easy for a little bit. And that doesn't mean give up our values or give up what we, the work that we have to do. But one of the things you said I thought was really interesting was now that money is coming in, life is going to overall improve. And it's going to improve for Republicans and for Democrats.
Yeah.
No matter who you are in America, we're not out for just ourselves here. We're improving an economy and a nation for everyone to improve and to thrive. And I think something you said at lunch was really interesting is the more society improves, you would think that people would turn to God, but it'll really be just the opposite.
And that's what I've been trying to say. Yes, we're going to see a lot of great things, good things, wonderful things, but that does not mean all of a sudden people are not going to flock into the churches. To the contrary, many will not. Okay, I'm not saying that persecution drives people to church. Maybe. What I'm saying is plenty sometimes makes people less eager to go to church.
What is it? The bad times create strong men create good times create weak men.
Weak men create bad times.
Yeah.
And so I think that probably will be more true. So now the church has to really examine herself, leader especially, and say, what does the new ministry look like? What is it?
Yeah.
And then we have to align ourselves. Means now we have to see people as quickly becoming happy, having things, traveling, not that interested in church because, not that they were previously all interested in church,
Right.
but it may be a different mentality.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they feel like, hey, look, I got money. I don't go to church. I don't pray. I don't give. I have everything.
Yeah.
I'm not giving it because I might lose it again or something like that.
So now we have to reshift our focus and see how can we reach a culture like this.
Yeah. As you've said that, it reminded me of, I mean, you're preaching through the book of Judges right now.
Yes.
It reminds me of that cycle in Judges when Israel's delivered, everything is good.
Yes.
That's when they fall into sin again. That's when they fall away from God. And I think the benefit that we have that they did not have or didn't exercise in the book of Judges is conversations like this. Like what is the next step of the church need to be? Looking ahead for the trajectory, not just going back to status quo and then falling away again.
It's so easy, and I've heard that so many times where people will just belittle Israel and berate Israel like they had it, they had it so terrible, and God just came in and delivered them, and they just went right back to their sin. But it's like, but that's what good times do.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not that they were just an evil, stupid nation. That's human nature.
Yeah.
They were victims of human nature just like we are, and I think it's really interesting because the freedom and the levity, I guess, that you get out of a little bit of peace, it truly does create some of the worst in people. And you said it earlier, when people have free time and they have money, they just start thinking and they just start getting these wild ideas that, maybe there is no God. Maybe this was always how it was going to be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they start philosophizing, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a word.
That's a word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't mean that bad times were going to be better. But it just means that good times are not necessarily best either.
Right.
They come with their own struggles and hangups that we need to understand and account for.
And being prepared for.
Right.
Yeah.
For the past, I would say 4 or 5 years, because even during President Trump's last term, things were tough at times. Not financially or with values, but just with the turmoil all over the country. And then, of course, the pandemic, and then, of course, all the craziness that went on in our big cities and everything. The past, I would say, 4 or 5 years were the so-called bad times. And we as a church, we began to see our culture differently. And how can we now reach this culture while being in exile? And I know some people say, like, what do you mean by exile? And I don't want to get off course and start addressing that.
Right.
Yes, we were in exile.
We've done episodes on that.
Yeah, we've done episodes on that. What does that mean? To be in exile? It means even though this is your land, all of a sudden you feel like it's not my land anymore. It doesn't feel like there's any hope or future left. It seems like the values that we had are going away. And I know some Christians will say, what do you mean by that? That's what the church was always been. Watch the other episodes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, but now we're not in exile anymore. What does ministry look like?
Yeah.
When we're not in exile, we're back in the land.
That's a great point.
So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, returning from exile to the land has its own challenges.
yes, because that when you study God's people, their history, coming back from exile did not make them strong believers. Now, of course, the Jewish people, when they came back to the land, they never went into idolatry again. But that is also the time period that gave them the Sadducees, the Pharisees.
Wouldn't that, there was a was it Haggai that talked about that, where they had come back and like everybody just seemed like they just didn't care. Like
Malachi talks Malachi.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's Malachi.
Yeah.
They didn't care about this. And, I preached a message on that where your blessings have become your curse.
Right.
Rotten blessings.
Yeah, we did an episode on
So maybe read the book of Malachi.
Yes.
As we go into this new season.
be a good predictor of some of the things we might be seeing coming up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Malachi may be your new guide over the next 4 years.
Life after exile.
Great point.
Yeah, life after exile.
Nice. I like it.
Love that.
So
If you guys enjoyed today's episode, write in and let us know. 252-582-5028. Or you can visit us online at clearviewtodayshow.com. Don't forget, you can partner with us financially on that same website. Every gift that you give goes not only to building up this radio show, but countless other ministries for the gospel of Jesus. John, what are we plugging today?
Plugging Dr. Shah and Nicole's book, 30 Days Praying for America, Daily Devotions to Heal Our Nation. Great, great book. We mentioned this yesterday, but there's a copy of this book probably sitting in the Oval Office right now. I know President Trump was given a copy. Not right now, but it will be in January. That's what I should. Hey, maybe mailed it to President Biden. I don't know. But you can also get our debut album, Heaven Here and Now, is available on Spotify and Amazon Music and iTunes and anywhere digital music is sold. We're working on getting those resources to you guys for your church through CCLI and other distribution and licensing platforms. So stay tuned. We got more information on that coming soon.
That's right. You guys find a local church near you where you can worship with God's people this weekend. Join us Monday morning for some great content. We love you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you bright and early on Monday here on Clearview Today.